So, like we just said, going to work on hip flexor stretching, core strengthening, a bit more neck mobilizing, upper back, so we get ourselves nice and straight. So I'm in a bit of a baggy top, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so sitting on your mat, pull your toes towards your nose, put your hands behind your thighs, and then just pull that that pelvis so it's vertical. So pull the front of the pelvis, the bone here, towards your knees, lengthening, lifting up tall, pull the toes to the nose, point the toes away. Pull the toes up, point the toes away. Pull them up, so pull the top of the head to the ceiling and push those seat bones into the floor. Rock right, rock left. Feel those seat bones on the ground, feel your bum either side. And then shimmy side to side, glide side to side. So really push, embed those seat bones into the floor. And then come down to a stop. And then lift the top of the head up. And then point those toes away. Pull those toes up. Now we're going to glide the right leg forward and let the left leg pull back. Glide the left leg forward, let the right leg pull back. Right leg forward, left leg. So if you take your fingers around to your sacroiliac joint, to your lower, where your spine joins your pelvis, you'll feel movement there. Push that right leg forward, push the left leg, push right, push left, push right, push left, push right, and then come to stationary. And then relax those toes, and then just roll yourself forward. Let your knees come soft. Pull that tummy button right onto the thighs and push the top of the head towards the wall in front of you. So you're lengthening rather than compressing on the inside of the curve. You're lengthening that curve, pushing the top of the head away from the tailbone. Push the right knee down to the floor and release. Push the left knee down, release. Push the right knee down, release. So big breath. Lift your head up a bit more, mum. So you've got your front of your body open. Yeah, rather than your chin up, lift here, the top of your head, and lengthen. Keep your eyes looking at your toes. Push that right knee down. So big breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. So left knee goes down. Breathing in as you push one down, out as you push the other. So you keep a flow of oxygen going through those lungs. Big breath. Okay, release the push of the knees. Pull the body forward a bit more and roll your hands over your toes. Pull those toes down towards the shins. Breathing in. Breathing out. And use your hands to pull your breastbone forward towards those toes. So you lengthen and extend that back again. And then release the hands on the feet and put the thumbs on the top of the toes and push those toes away. Big toe, second toe, middle toe, fourth toe, baby toe. And then roll those hands over. Pull those toes all the way down towards the shins again. Lift that body up nice and tall. And then release those feet. Come up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders up to your ears, back and down. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, back and down. Pop the hands on the floor. Push that chest forward. So I've got my fingertips away, balls of the hands. So I'm using my hands to push my chest forward rather than leaning back on my hands. So I'm pushing forward, lifting that chest up, bringing that chin up. So mum, bring your chest forward more and the back of your head back more. Yeah. And Helen, nose in the air, chin in the air, stretch through that throat. And then bring those eyes down, bring the chin down into the chest. So pulling your back of your head up, like someone's got hold of the base of your skull. And pulling that up to the ceiling, then nose falls forward, rather than crumping forward on with your nose. Bring that chin up. If someone's got a hold of under your chin, they're pulling it up to look up at them. Pulling those shoulders back, putting the breastbone forward, and then pulling that chin down, so pulling the back of the head up. Turn the eyes to the right side of the right leg, pull that left ear from the left shoulder. Yeah, hang on, right, start again, eyes horizontal, looking in front. Tip that chin down, look towards the floor between the legs. Turn the head so you look towards the floor on the right side of the right leg, and then lift that left ear. So you stretch that left side. Turn the face, rotate the face right and left. So you stretch the left side of the neck. And release, bring the eyes up horizontal. Turn the eyes in front, turn the eyes to the right. Bring those eyes down towards the right side, the left side of the left leg. Pull that right ear away from that right shoulder. Pull that chest forward, shoulders back. Rotate the head down and up. Or rather, turning the face clockwise, anti-clockwise. So you stretch through that neck. And then bring those eyes back to the front and bring them up. Push off those hands, bring those arms up in front. And then collapse that lower back. Don't go down to the floor, just collapse it. And then lift it up, lift the chest up. Collapse down and then lift up. So I'm using my heels to lift up, collapse down, sinking back, and then lift up. Use your heels, pull that seat, the top of the pelvis forward. Collapse down and then continue back, roll back. So roll back, putting the lower back down on the floor first, lower back, middle back, upper back, arms all the way overhead. Breathing in on the out breath, reach and stretch, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Push that right hand away from that right foot, take hold of the right wrist, lengthen that right side. And release, push that left hand away from the left foot. Take hold of that left wrist, pull, 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 lengthen, and release. Pull those shoulders away from the ears, bring those arms up to the sky. Bring those arms all the way out wide to the floor, squeeze those shoulder blades together. So visualize your shoulder blades, make them flat on the floor. Push the back of the head in the ground. May need to wiggle the body, pull those shoulders away from the ears. Lift that head and turn it so the right ear is on the floor. So your ear is in, remember when we were standing just now, your ear would be in line with your spine. Pushing the right nostril down to the ground, pushing those hands into the floor, pushing those shoulders into the floor. Lift and turn that head so it looks at the ceiling. Breathe in on the out breath, lift and turn that head so the left ear is on the floor. Pulling the left nostril on the floor, pulling the backs of both hands, both shoulders into the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. And then lifting, turn that head back up to the ceiling. Bring those arms up to the sky. We're going to grab the squishy ball. So reach down, see if you can grab the ball. You might have to sit up or kick it up to you. I'm going to kick mine up to me. Perfect. Push that ball in under that bra strap area. So push it in under the bra strap area. Bend those knees so the feet are flat on the floor. So we've got the ball under the bra strap area, head's on the floor, feet are on the floor. So breathe in. Breathe out and let the body just release over that ball. Breathing in. Breathing out. Take those hands up in the sky. Take those hands all the way overhead. Pull that tummy button down towards the floor and let that upper back open. Make sure that's in the bra strap area, sort of just below between the shoulders, but kind of in that area. Reaching, so it's in the area of your lungs. Breathing in, breathing out. Really empty. Breathe in. Big breath in, breathing out. Breathe in. Bring those arms up to the sky. Breathe out, take those arms out wide to the floor. Breathe in, bring those arms up. Breathe out, take those arms wide. Wiggle that body, push to the right hand. Push the body over towards the right. So the left side is kind of my left hand light on the floor. Glide that body over to the left, so the left ball comes under the right side. Right arm comes light on the floor. Glide over to the right. Let that left side come up. That left hand comes loose on the floor. Glide over to the left. Lifting, and then back to center. Now, ooching left and right, just move that ball down towards those bottom ribs. The jumper will probably get all knotted up, but don't worry. And then move that ball left and right, or the body left and right over the ball, and bring the body up. So the ball comes towards the base of the neck. Okay, so it's light mobilizing. All right, bring those arms up to the sky, resting the ball under that bra strap area. Take those arms all the way overhead, lengthening. Pushing onto that ball, lift the bum light off the floor. Let the bum go on the floor, push the breastbone up. Bring those armpits opening, pushing the back of the hands into the floor, pushing those upper arms and those forearms into the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring those arms up into the sky. Bend those knees up. Right, holding yourself here, pull the lower back into the floor and lift your head and shoulders up. So I'm reaching towards my feet. Okay, move the ball up towards your shoulders more, up towards your neck more, Mum. Yeah, and then release. And your head goes back down to the floor, arm goes all the way over. So we're going to use our tummy muscles. So breathing in, on the out breath, pull that lower back in towards the floor and lift the upper body up. Good, well done, Mum. Yes, stay on the ball, Helen. And then come all the way down. So we're starting to get these tummy muscles working. So if we go up too soon, the chances are you'll swing and use momentum. So Mum, if you want, Helen, keep your arms here, so the upper arms by the head. Mum, take your arms up, point to your knees, push the lower back in the floor and lift that upper body. So get your hand, yeah, there you go. Now go down. Okay, Mum, you do that. Helen, I want you to keep your arms here. Breathing in, clench the tummy, push the lower back into the floor. Your arms stay level with your ears. Come up, Helen, up. Yeah, arms stay like me. And then you can reach forward. So ease and lower. So when you're down, loosen that neck. Breathing in. Tighten the tummy. Pull the lower back into the floor. Lift the upper body. Ease that upper body over the ball. Let that stomach stretch. Breathing in. On the out breath, pull that lower back into the floor. Bring that upper body up. And then continue all the way up to sitting. Push the lower back flat, Mum. Go. Oh, yes, well done. Excellent. Brilliant. Okay, rolling forwards. So now we just stretch this lower back out. So keep the neck and head up. Breathing in, breathing out. So sometimes when one rolls forward, one ends up all cramping, then the ribs can't breathe, then you feel lightheaded. Sit yourself up tall, keep that head up. If you let yourself collapse, your ribs can't breathe, then you're going to struggle with getting oxygen in, then you can feel lightheaded. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Move that ball, put that ball next to you, but just move it out of the way. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Okay, bring those arms up in front. Take the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. We're going to lift and turn, rotate. So push off this left hand, pushing around, breathing out. And then come back round to the front. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Lift that chest, turn that upper body, breathing in, breathing out. Come back round to the front. Bring those arms up in front, cross those arms over. Let those knees come soft if you want. Turn the body round to the right. back to center. So lifting with here, turn the body round to the left. So feel those seat bones evenly on the floor, come back to center. So turn from here, turn from your bladder area. Lift that chest, breathe in. Turn round to the right. Feel those lower tummy muscles. Come back to center. Turn round to the left. Come back to center. Turn right. Don't lean back as you turn. Back to center. Turning left, anchoring that pelvis on the floor. Back to center. Turning right, feeling it in your tummy. Try not to feel it in your shoulders. Mum, shoulders back, back to center. Roll those shoulders, keep them back and down, turning left. Back to center. One more turning right. So keep the flow of air, breathing out on the way around, breathe in as you come back. Breathe out round to the left. Breathe in as you come back. Release those hands up in front. We're going to stretch our hips now. Let those legs go straight, rolling yourself down to the floor, slowly down. Here first. Here first. Get the pelvis flat on the ground. Lower the upper body. Take the arms all the way overhead. Push those fingers away. Push those toes away. Let the back lift away from the ground. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. So one by one, we correct the posture of the spine. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the lower ribs on the ground. Bring the hands up to the sky. Flatten that lower back. So that's not a neutral. And now let the lower back lift slightly and bring those hands apart. Bring the backs of the hands to the floor. Bring those hands up to the sky. Bring that right knee up. Hold that right knee. Pull that right knee in towards the chest or towards the right shoulder. Stretching the underneath of the leg and compressing and mobilizing the top part of the inside of the hip joint. Let that leg go away straight. Take those hands overhead. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Check you're in neutral spine. Bring the hands to the sky. Bring the left knee in. Pull that knee up towards the left shoulder, keeping neutral spine. Shoulders on the floor. Lower back slightly lifted. All those ribs in contact with the ground. Pulling that knee in. Lengthening, pushing that right leg away, left leg towards. Feel the stretch in the underneath of your leg and feel the compression in the hip joint. Draw in the core, let that leg go straight. Take those hands all the way overhead. Bring those arms up to the sky. Bring the right knee in again. Pull that knee in. Hold behind the leg, straighten that leg up to the ceiling, pointing the toe. Flex the foot, point the toe. Flex, point. Flex, circles with that feet one way. 3 circles one way. And then 3 circles the other way. And then pull that leg all the way over to the floor on the left across the body. So support it with the underneath arm, the left hand. Put the right hand away and turn the eyes right. So you feel the stretch all the way down the outside of that leg. Turning, pushing my left hand on my left leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring the eyes back up to the sky. Now bend that knee a little and bring that leg back up above you. Pull that thigh towards your chest and then flex that foot and bring that leg, that foot over your face. So you're trying to straighten the knee, but you won't get it completely straight because you've brought it past its area of stretch. Bend that knee. Pull that knee in further towards the chest. Feel how you can get it a little bit more. So when the hamstring and the glutes are tight, it will create more tension on this joint, and so it'll be less mobile. All right, turn that foot. So bring the foot towards you, bring the other leg in. Put that foot on the left leg and push this right knee away. Pull this left knee towards, push the right knee away. Hold yourself in that lengthened position. Make sure your spine's not sliding or curving, so your bum's not swinging to the left. Hold this leg in the stretch position. Push the knee back into the hand. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep that spine lengthened. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release the push into the hand and lengthen. Pushing the knee away with the other hand. Pushing it away. Hold it there. Push it back into the hand. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release. Lengthen. Let that left leg go straight. Keep hold of that right leg. Keep hold of that right leg. Pull that right leg all the way over the body. Push that hand right. Right hand away. Right knee to the floor. Eyes right. Right shoulders to the ground. And then roll onto the left hand side. So I'd like it if you can see me. So hopefully you're both. Yeah, Mum's going to be pointing away. So roll onto the right hand side, the left hand side. So your right leg is, hold on to this right leg above you. So this is one of the hip flexor stretches. So it only works to stretch the hip if the knee is behind the center line. So if your arms aren't long enough, your foot will be too close to the bum and you won't get the knee behind you. So that means you need a strap or something on around that foot. But basically push that foot into the hand. So you lengthen the foot away behind and let the knee go back. Pull the crutch forwards using the tummy muscles. Lengthening, pushing the crutch forward. So the bend becomes at the leg to pelvis joint, the extension. Now, I turn my hand, so palms up and the hands under the toes, and rest that hand and foot on the floor. Now with your left leg, your shoulder will have to drop back. Put your left foot on your right knee. So you pull that left knee down, and then your shoulders will come on the floor and you'll face the ceiling a bit. Pull that left knee down. And you draw that core in and you pull that lower back towards the floor and you increase the stretch through that hamstring, that quadriceps. Increase that stretch. So I'm using my left foot on my right knee to pull it down. I'm clenching my core and pulling down from the top. So my bum is pushing my hip bone up and I'm pulling the tummy muscles down and the knee down, which is getting more stretch over this hip joint. Release that left leg, let go of the right leg, roll back onto the back. Bring that right knee into the chest. Bring that right knee in and lower that back onto the floor. And then release that right leg out straight. Rest your hands on your chest. And notice how different each side of your leg feels to each other. Take your hands all the way overhead. Push those hands away. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Bring those hands up to the sky and slide that left knee in. Pulling that left knee in. Now extend that left leg up into the sky. Point the toe. Pull the leg towards, flex, point, spread the toes, flex, point, flex, point, flex, circles with that foot one way, 3 circles one way, 3 the other way. Pulling that leg towards you, pushing the tailbone down, take hold of the calf, pull that leg all the way over to the floor on the right hand side. Turn the eyes left, have that left arm away, feel the stretch through the side of that leg. So it's not particularly nice feeling this stretch, it can be a bit icky. Lengthening, keeping that leg at 90 degrees to the body if you can. Bend that knee a bit, roll back up onto your back, pull that thigh closer to the chest. Flex the foot and straighten that leg as much as you can. Well, go straight because you pulled the thigh closer to the tummy. Pulling that leg in. separating those legs from each other. Release that leg in, pull that knee up. Now you should get more flexion, more mobility in the hip, be able to pull that knee in closer because you've released the underneath muscles. Turn this leg, pull the other leg up, rest this left foot on the right thigh. Push that, pull the right thigh in, push the left knee away. Push the tailbone down, keep the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen the spine. Breathing in, push the left knee into the left hand. Breathing in, so it's a 20% contraction, you're not going crazy. Breathing out, release the push and then lengthen, so pushing the hand on the leg, making that leg go away further, keeping this left foot in the same position. Breathing in, breathing out, push the knee back into the hand. Breathing in, pushing the knee back into the hand, release. Lengthen that leg away by pushing the hand on the thigh, stretching through that glute, that hip. And then release that right leg and let that left leg just spin round. Pull that left knee in. Notice that you can get the thigh closer to the chest. Pull this left knee all the way over the body to the floor on the right hand side. Turn the eyes left, pushing the left shoulder and arm away. Bringing the breastbone to the sky, stretching through that hip, lower back, rib cage, breastbone. And then roll over onto that right hand side. Let the right foot go forward, hold on to this left foot. So, keeping the knee level with the hip, push the foot into the hand and let that knee go behind you. Clench with the bum, pull the pubic bone forward, breathing in, breathing out, pushing the foot into the hand, pushing the pubic bone forward. Feel the stretch through the front of this back leg, this top leg. And then I swing my hand under that foot and let that foot go to the floor. It's a bit of a crash sometimes. Roll over onto your back a little bit. So your shoulders, your left, I'm resting on my left elbow and my right shoulder. Bring that right foot up, put that right foot on that left knee, pull the left knee down, and now draw in the core and pull that lower back towards the floor. Feel the stretch through this left leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Pull that left foot, that left knee down, pull that lower back down. Stretch through that left leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretch through this hip, stretch through this hip flexor, this quad. Release that foot off the knee, let the knee ping up. Let go of that foot, let that left leg come round and roll onto your back. Take hold of this left knee, pull it up to the chest, let the tailbone lift up so we mobilize that lower back. Feel how much easier it is to move this in this hip. Take that left leg straight, take those arms all the way overhead, reach and stretch. Pull the toes to the nose, point the toes away. Bring those arms all the way up to the sky, bring them all the way down to the floor. Slide them under your legs and then push your elbows into the ground and lift up onto the top of your head. So really arching through that upper back. So we want to get the forward bend in the upper back and chest so that we can get straighter in the lower back. So what happens, why we end up with a big sway back down low, is because we don't have enough bend at the top. So we overbend at the bottom and then the hip flexors contract and then we end up bent here. So opening and then release down to the floor, breathing in. On the out breath, push those elbows in the floor, lift that chest. Lower that back to the floor. Breathe in. On the out breath, push the elbows and back of the head into the ground. Lift that chest. Point those toes and then release that back down. Breathing in. On the out breath, push the elbows in the floor. Lift that breastbone and chest. Stretch through that tummy. Push the back of the head in the floor. Point those toes and then release and lower. One more. Push the back of the head into the floor. Push off those elbows. Lift the chest up, point those toes, breathing in. Breathing out, release and lower. Bring that right knee in, bring that left knee in, lift that tailbone off the ground and stretch that lower back out and release. Bring those knees in, lift the tailbone off the ground and release. Bring those knees in, lift that tailbone off the ground and release. Okay, pop those feet on the floor, bring in that ball, bring in that squishy ball, holding onto it. So just hold onto it on the, I've got it on my right hand side, breathe in. On the out breath, flatten the lower back in the floor, push through the heels, lift those hips up. So clenching with the bum, opening through these hip flexors. So we're now using the bum to push into the hip flexors. Bridging, now lower that spine one vertebra at a time to the floor. So we need to be able to arch the upper back and then arch at the glutes. So on the heels or into the floor, toes are off, breathing in. Flatten that lower back, lift the tailbone off the ground. Clench the bum, drive with those hips up into the sky, pushing into the hip flexors, not in the lower back. And then lower all the way down to the ground again. Arch the back at the bottom, breathing in, flatten the back, push through the heels, drive up onto those hip flexors up into the sky, breathing in, pushing the hands down to the feet and then lower all the way down to the ground. Breathing in, flatten the back, push through the heels, pubic bone up high, lift. Now bring that squishy ball in under your back. Lower your back so that you lower your pelvis, sort of just between your butt cheeks onto the ball, just a bit higher than there, onto the ball. So feel how you rock around a bit. Feel how you rock around a bit, holding here. Drop that right knee out to the side. Try not to fall onto the right and come back up. Drop that right knee out, come back up. Hands are stabilizing, drop that right knee out, come back up, lift that, so my bottom ribs are off the ground, drop that left knee out, come back up. So we do this on the roller, drop the left knee out, this is less stable, come back up, drop that left knee out, come back up, okay. Heels in the ground, resting on this squishy ball. Neutral spine, so lengthening the body, draw in the core, push the left heel in the floor, lift the right leg up, lower down, push the left heel in the floor, lift the right leg up, feel how your left buttock engages, tap the right leg down, bring that right leg up, tap that right leg down, bring the right leg up, straighten the right leg, lower the right leg straight to the floor. So we're supporting with this left leg, but the toes are off the ground. Lift the right leg up. Lower that right leg down. Lift that right leg up. Lower that right leg down. Bend that right leg and put it next to the left. So stabilize with both legs. Lengthen the head away from the shoulders. Make sure you've got your spine in neutral. So remember, your ribs are in a cone shape, like a loo roll. So the back of your ribs need to be straight, not curved. Push through that right heel. Lift that left heel up. Feel the glutes engage. Tap that left heel to the floor. Got the ball supporting you. Lift that left heel up. Put that left heel down. So we're using the glutes and the ball. Lift the left heel up, but the ball's unstable, so you have to use the glutes. Lower the left leg down. Lift the left leg up. Straighten the left leg. Take the left leg straight all the way down to the floor. So we have to invert that pelvis. Lift that leg up. So we've got to keep the pelvis still. Lower the leg down so our glutes are working and our core's working. Lift the left leg up. Lower the left leg down. So if you put your hands on the pelvis, there should be no movement. Lift the left leg up. Bend the leg and put it back next to the other one. Okay. Lower the back down towards the floor. Get a stretch in that lower back. And then come into neutral. Push through the heels. Lift the bum away from the ball. Move it out and then lower that hips all the way down to the floor. Take the feet a little bit away from the bum. And then let's roll over onto the side. I'm going to swivel all the way around so I can see you in the screen up there. I'm going to roll all the way over onto your tummy. So, forehead on the ground. Forehead on the ground. Forehead on the ground. Clench the bum. Push the pubic bone in the floor. So put your soles of your toes on the ground, not the toenails. So your foot is at 90 degrees, your ankle joint's at 90 degrees. Clench your bum and lift your knees up off the floor so your thighs are in a straight line. Release, let the knees come down to the floor. Clench the bum, push the pubic bone down, lift those knees up so your heel to your bum's a straight line. Your thighs are off the floor, calves are off the floor, shins are off the floor, pushing off those toes. And then release. Bum sticks up in the air. Clench the bum, tighten the thighs, lift those knees away from the ground. And feel that while you do that, you draw your tummy in. So you pull your lower back. You pull your lower back into a straighter position. And then release. Feel how when you release, your belly falls on the floor, your lower back arches, your bum sticks up in the air, and you bend at the pelvis. You bend at the leg pelvis joint. So now we're going to clench the bum, push the pubic bone in the floor, lift the knees up, and that tightens the core muscles as well. So draw in the core so that you lift the belly off the floor and straighten out that lower back. Keeping these legs like that, we're going to lift the right leg up a bit and then lower. So it's only going to lift about a few centimeters. Lift the right leg, lower. Toe comes away, toe comes down, but the leg stays straight. Lift, lower, lift, lower. Left leg, clench with the bum, lift for 5, tap down, 4, tap, 3, tap, 2, tap, 1, tap. Holding yourself strong, drawing that core in. Forehead on the ground. Lift that right arm off the ground and tap down. Lift that left arm up, tap down. Right arm up, tap down. Left arm up, tap down. Put that right hand level with the bottom ribs. Bring that right knee up to the floor. Release the left foot on the ground. So you bring the right knee up to the waist. Lift that right side off the ground. Stretch that chest. Breathing in. Pushing off this right hand. Stretch the left chest. Push the left arm into the floor. Release the push. Lift the right side higher. Breathing in. And then release. Come back down. Let the right arm go into that pitchfork position. Put the soles of the toes on the ground. Lift the thighs up. Draw the core in. Push the pubic bone into the floor by engaging the glutes. Tighten those Tighten those quads, lift those knees up, lengthen, feel the body straight. Bring the left hand down towards the bottom ribs. Bring that left knee up towards the waist, turn the body, release that right foot, turn the body, lift the left side up, feel the stretch through that right chest. Breathing in, breathing out, lift that left side, push that right arm into the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Release the push, lift the left side higher. Lift that left side higher. Push that right arm into the floor. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release the push, lift that left side higher. Feel that stretch through the chest, underneath the breast, across, under into the armpit. And then release that left arm. Release the body down again. Roll those shoulders up, ears down and back. Clench the bum. Lift those feet and knees and thighs off the ground. Legs are straight. Bring the hands and forearms up. Bring the whole arm up. Whole arm stays here. Forehead's on the ground. Breastbone's on the ground. Pubic bone's on the ground. Tummy's lifted. Pulse those arms up for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold them for 1. Pulse those arms up higher for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Bring those hands next to the bottom ribs. Clench the bum. Roll those shoulders up to the ears down and back. Lift those thighs. And then lift that chest and head up off the ground. Breathing in. On the out breath, push up onto the thighs. Push up onto the knees. And then push the bum in the air and go back into child pose. So we just used Cobra to get ourselves up onto all fours because we're going to go into stretching those hip flexors again. So in this position, we're going to make the most of stretching the chest. So take those knees apart a bit, drop the belly down between the thighs, push the chest to the floor, get the chin on the ground, and push those armpits down to the floor by pushing those forearms down, those hands down. Stretching through that chest, breathing in, breathing out. So opening the chest, giving our lungs some more space, giving our heart more freedom to be able to pump, opening those ribs, getting those the intercostal muscles to be more loose so that the ribs can lift up and down, which allows the lungs to work better, which allows the heart to work better. Breathing in, breathing out. Pulling those knees apart, lift yourself up onto all fours. Turn the tailbone down, push the back up. Turn the tailbone up, bring the chest down. Okay, come into neutral. So chest down a little bit more, both of you. Oh, I'm looking at a frozen screen. Yeah, that's good, well done. I was looking at the frozen screen, which is pushing backs up. Right, come onto your knees and bring your roller in. So we're going to do another hip flexor stretch. And then we'll do a few more glute exercises. So I've got my left hand on the roller and I'm up tall. So clench with the bum here. So we're pushing into these hip flexors. So we're getting stability by we're not staying out like that and being wobbly. We're pushing the clenching here, pushing into these hip flexors. Left hand's on the roller. And I'm going to bring my right foot up in front. So I've got my right foot and my left hand stabilizing. So lift myself up. So my clenching my left buttock, I'm pushing hard into those hip flexors. Should feel it on that left hand side. Put your right hand on top of the roller too. Yeah, and then take that left hand off, put the left hand up in the sky, reach that left hand up and stretch through the front of that leg through that hip flexor, clenching the bum and feeling. So every step you take forwards, you should feel this stretch in that hip flexor. Not quite as strong as this, but you should feel it. And that is how you stay mobile in the hip joint, by walking properly, pushing that arm up, clenching, stretching, release, bring that left arm back onto this roller. Breathing in. Lift your shoulders up, lift your chest up, mum. Take the left arm away again. Reach that left arm up, push the hip forward, stretch through that left leg. And bring that left arm back down on the roller. Breathing in. On the out breath, push the left arm up, push forward into the hip flexor. Each time stretching a bit further, and then release. Bring that right leg down. Clench the bum, push forwards into those hip flexors. So you should feel a bit looser in the left side. Bring the roller over to the right leg, to the right side. Right hand on the roller. Lifting the chest up. Bring that left leg through. So it probably feels a bit weird doing it. So I've got my left leg off the mat, in fact. Lifting up, pushing the glutes into here. So put the left hand on the roller as well. Take the right hand off, breathing in. On the out breath, push that right arm up, pushing forwards into that right hip flexor. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring that right arm back down. Lift that chest up, breathing in. On the out breath, lift that hand up, pushing forward into that hip flexor. Bringing that hand down. Lift that chest up, breathing in. Clench that bum. Breathing out, push that right arm up and forward. So you should feel you're stretching more and more each time here. Bring that right arm down. And then slide that left leg back so that you're up. I've got both knees on the floor. Put the roller in front. Lift that chest up. So pushing forward, clench with the bum, push into here. Draw the tummy in, reduce this bend. Lift the breastbone up and straighten that torso. Good, Helen. Good, mum. Push into your hip flex a little bit more. Bring the roller a bit closer to you, mum. So you got the chest, yeah, that's it. So then you can use it to push the chest up. Okay, now we're going to drop the bum back. So we bend there. Keep your knees where they were. So we stick our bum out behind. And now we're going to push the bum forward and lift that head up. So we've got a clench here. So we're going to bend. So this is actually a squat. Bend, bum goes back. Clench, comes back up, pushing into here. Lowering back. Clenching and moving up. So this is going up a staircase. Clench and push forward. Bent here. Thighs in front. Clench with the bum and push forward. One more. Dropping the bum back. Clenching, pushing forward. Okay, move that roller out of the way. Drop that bum back and come onto all fours. So now we're going to do exactly the same action, but by moving the leg. So lengthen the spine, push the head away from the tailbone. Weights on either hand, put the weight on the left knee, take the right leg out behind. Bring that knee into the elbow. Clench with the bum and lift. Bring the knee in. Helen, get your pelvis more down to the floor. Sorry, bend. Right, hang on, bring those knees back onto the floor. So your pelvis here, the top of your pelvis, make sure you're in neutral here. So you looked a bit humped up like that. Sink your belly button down to the floor more, and your pelvis is not allowed to move. If you have a tape measure from the underneath of the pelvis to the floor, that stays the same distance. So weight on the left leg, right leg out behind. So you lift the leg by clenching. Knee into the chest, no humping up. Leg out straight, clench. Knee into the chest, back of the head towards the ceiling. Leg out straight, good, so that you're not dropping your head. Leg out straight. Back of the knee in. So think of the back base of the skull to the ceiling rather than the top of the head. Straighten the leg. Bend the leg. Straighten and hold it straight. Toe to the floor with a straight leg. Clench and lift for 5. Tap down. 4. Tap. 3. Tap. 2. Tap. 1. Bend that leg in so it's level with the other leg. Lift the knee out to the side for 5. Down. 4. Down. No twisting. 3. Down. 2. Down. Good. 1. Rest on the floor. Turn the inside of the elbows forward. Make sure you're in neutral. Push that chest forward, opening through the front. Take that left leg out behind. Bring that knee to the elbow. Your knee should touch the floor all the way up whenever it goes through. Out straight. Bring that knee in. Don't move the pelvis. Clench and lift. Bring it in. Clench and straighten. Bring it in. Clench and straighten. Bring it in. Clench and straighten. Hold there. Toe to the floor. Clench and lift. Toe to the floor. Clench and lift. Toe to the floor. Clench and lift. Toe down. Clench and lift. Down. Clench and lift. Bend that knee under you. Open your chest, mum. Take the knee out to the side and down. Out to the side and down. 3. Down. 4. No twisting of the body. 5. Down. Resting on the floor. So that external rotation that you just did, the clam, is what we do for support. So pull those knees apart without moving them, engaging those outer glute muscles, which is what you just worked. Glide that body back as if you're a pendulum, swinging through and then come back up onto all fours using the glutes. Glide back, keeping in neutral, keep that spine straight. Good, come back up. Glide back. And come back up, good. Glide back. And then slide those knees apart on the floor and let the chest come between those legs. Slide those hands forward into that child pose. Breathing in, breathing out. Armpits open, chin to the floor, opening that chest. And then lifting up onto all fours. Turn the tailbone down, push the back up. Turn the tailbone up, bring the chest down, bring those eyes up. Okay, walking your knees forward on the mat, sit yourself down. Hold behind those thighs. Pull forwards and then lift the top of the head up. So lift the back of the head up. Lifting the back of the head, the knobbly bit at the back, as if someone's got hold of it and pulling it to the ceiling. Lengthen that neck. Pull those knees down to the ground. Put the hands on the floor behind. Push that chest forwards and up. Don't lean on your hands, mum. Lift that chest up. So we're using them as a stay to hold ourselves up. Good. Release the hands away. Bring them all the way forward, up in the air. Big breath in, breathe out. Swing the arms all the way wide. Touch the floor. Bring them all the way up. Hold them in the sky above you. Breathing in. Breathing out. Reaching up high. Take those eyes up. All the way up. Bring them all the way out wide. Rest your hand. Put your left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. We'll just twist. Back to the front. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Twist the other way. Back to the front. Rest those hands on those legs and roll those shoulders. Good. They should feel nice and straight.